Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Draped in Gold. I hope you're ready to dig in as we got all sorts of craziness to chat about this evening, whether it be Solo Sikoa getting carted off to jail or Trick Williams getting chokeslammed by the dead man or Roman Reigns confronting Paul Heyman or the Eliminator Bonanza 2025 kicking off in full steam fashion. I don't know the
full
words.
swing, Jack.
Full swing is what I'm looking for.
Full fashion.
Thank you for everyone who's joined us there in the chat and live. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Flobo Boyce. Before jet setting, like you usually do, how you doing today?
Well, Jack Farmer, I'm not as good as you because you recently had a birthday, didn't you not?
I absolutely did. I get like Benjamin Button, baby. I look younger every year. So yeah, I had a pretty good one.
Well, unlike yourself, I turned 40 this year. So if you get to be my age, I want to give you some advice. And I want to be able to have this advice right here on Draped in Gold, the best wrestling podcast of all time. And that is, make sure you stretch. Because sometimes I get up and it's already a wrap for me. I'm just like, I am not doing nothing today. So that's my advice to you. Make sure you stretch.
Listen, I can't sit up like the Undertaker sits up anymore. Like that's gone out the window.
Is
Those
it
days
Taker
are
at
over.
WrestleMania 26? Where he's like,
yeah. Let me tell you, if I did leg day today, and let me tell you, the stairs are negotiation situations now for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been I've gotten older, I've gotten wiser, gotten better. Because one day on a calendar made up by humans passed.
They weren't made by aliens, unless they were.
I mean, aliens. Good to see Dylan Matthews in the chat.
Woo!
Chris Brick saying happy belated birthday. You know, I did a little photo shoot, not a photo shoot. I was part of a commercial.
Like
Maybe you may see me in a commercials for a dash cam. Flobo.
Wait,
can't tell you
are you the perpetrator in this commercial? Don't let this man in your house or by your car.
I was driving around all day in Long Beach, California, with the top off of a Mini Cooper. That's what they wanted me to drive. It was fun. It was beautiful, but I got super sunburned, Flobo. But like my Sheamus-esque skin took the red. I looked like Mr. Krabs, and then it just went.
Right.
Went away. And I'm pale. I'm pale again.
I like how you said Sheamus because at one time he called himself the Great White. Remember those years when he had the mohawk?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of you. It's a shame, lobster head. You know.
Yeah, it's like when he said that, I was always thinking, I get what you're saying, but you probably shouldn't.
Right. I can't cheer for that.
Go
get him, Great White.
like, how do you cheer that? I'm like, Great White. Great.
Look over my shoulder, like, I don't know.
Dylan says, Jack in a commercial. Let me turn on my VPN real quick. Yeah, you might see me. I don't know. Or it might not reach air. You know, the funny thing about working in this entertainment world, Flobo, as you know, is you work on stuff, you put time in, and then sometimes they just say, we're not going to release it. Like,
as long as the check clears, I say. When I did my commercial, they told me it was only going to be online only, and I saw my face in a bar in Kansas City. Like, wait a minute, I did not get paid consummate to the exposure here.
Yeah, getting caught on TV can be a interesting thing, and you know I'll have more on that in just a little bit. Is there's someone who got caught on TV that we're going to chat all about, but let's talk a bit about what happened just now, the recent news, and again. Everyone like, comment, share, subscribe. Dylan Matthews, Chris Bricks, Ricky Sinclair, Flobo Boyce in the chat himself. Shades of Blue Network coming through.
Crunk Chocolate.
Chocolate?
Crunk Chocolate. It's Shades of Blue Network is run by Crunk Chocolate.
Crunk Chocolate. What a great name.
Mm-hmm.
Tasty.
I
don't know you.
We're canceled.
Yeah. Well, you know, once people find out what they find out, which we'll reveal in a little bit, I would talk about AEW. It was, as I dubbed it, the Eliminator Bonanza 2025. We've got two World Championship Eliminator matches and the start of an Eliminator tag team tournament with the FTR making it to the first round. Flobo, I know that when you talk about things that are important in wrestling, it's like at the bottom is matches, above that is storyline, above that is character, and at the
Me
tippy
personally,
top,
or in general?
yeah, you, and
Mm.
above that tippy top, eliminator matches.
Oh,
How did you
absolutely
feel
not.
about how did you feel
Absolutely.
about these?
For the record, it's character, moves, and storyline for me personally. But I look, I get it. Elimination matches and tournaments, I can't complain about them because every company does it. It's like when a teacher can't come to class, they bring in the giant television with the straps on it. I guess I'm a certain age, but they used to bring a big giant TV. They'll play something to make sure you're occupied. But I don't know, man. Like, how many times can we go through a tournament? It feels like an AEW, it's always a tournament. Maybe it's just the way it's built or the way it's promoted. But hey, look, man, if you like matches, you got your fill today.
Hey, WWE's been rocking the tournament rocking the tournament vibe a lot as well. I feel like in
I
wrestling
agree.
right now, we need to have a tournament of tournaments where we just like put like remember we used to do the old everything tournament with Evan
Oh,
T.
yeah.
Mack.
Deep
We should
cut.
do a tournament where we debate which tournament is the best tournament.
Yeah, Owen Hart versus the King of the Ring versus the Crockett Cup versus Dusty Classic.
Yeah, I think so. I think done. Perfect. We'll put it in the books. Something that happened on this show. Uh, I'll start with positive. I'm gonna start with
Ooh,
positive.
okay. I like
Positive.
that. Yeah.
I love Hangman Adam Page as the AEW World Champion, Flobo.
Interesting. Do you?
I'm loving it. Love Adam Page. I love that one of his former students actually tweeted about seeing their teacher
Oh,
become the AEW champion.
yeah.
I think that's cool. I think everything he says into that microphone and the way he carries himself is perfect. And while I feel like I'm personally over the Death Riders, the fact that Mox is getting his rematch seems great to me. I'm loving Adam Page as the champion.
Here's a question to ask you though: are you loving Adam Page as a champion, or you were
Yes.
just over the Death Riders? Because I
No,
feel like a lot of.
I love
But
Adam Page. I'm a big Adam.
let me ask you why.
Because I think that he's someone that we all relate to. He's a man of the people. I feel like whenever he carries him, the way he carries himself is the way I think a lot of people who, if they were wrestlers, like to think they would carry themselves. And I think that that resonates with a lot of people.
Everyman champions are good, and I think they will resonate with some people. But you think about the great champions, it's never the man of the people. It's always someone who has a little bit of edge. Mox should have retained, and hopefully get this title back next week.
How do you feel about old Darby Allin showing up and stinging Mox?
You know what? I think I like it just because he's the one that passed that torch of being creepy in shadow. That's not what I mean. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad there's someone that can do that. And he's also climbed Mount Everest, so he has a little bit more of the aura points, as the kids say, even though that particular gimmick was tied on him. But yeah, look, I feel like when you think about long-term rivalries, Darby Allin and Mox may go down as one of the greats.
I do really enjoy Darby Allin being back, and you're right. I think him being part of that Mount Everest situation. He climbed Mount Everest. I don't know why I'm dancing around it. It's like a good accolade to have, and I'm dancing around it like it's something we're not supposed to talk about.
That's a
He
big deal.
climbed Mount Everest. That's crazy. I like that he's being the. I like it that he's being the new generation of Sting, and I think even if he just copies it straight up, I'm here for it. I'm happy about it. Go for it.
I
How
guess
do you feel?
so.
Are you okay with that?
I mean, I'm fine with him passing the torch and being that thing to other people, but he has to do something that's different. So people say, "Oh, that's my Sting," right? Like, I always use the example when I was a kid, I was really into Tatanka because that was my Chief J Strongbow, right? Like, Javon Evans is another kid's Jeff Hardy, but Darby Allin is doing a straight up 1-for-1. So I think I'm not sure if she go back to being the skater punk boy or now, or go more supernatural. But the next 6 months, this iteration could be very critical for his career, or where you're going to be in the AEW pecking order.
I think he already brings a different vibe to it. I mean, he's edgy. He's got the skateboard. He's definitely
That's it. You got to skate. These kids and their skateboards, they're so edgy.
Just like Cora Jade has a skateboard, is edgy. No,
Well, he can actually ride it though. Poor Cora
right.
had to like run down the ring with it in her hand. That to me was terrible. Someone should have stopped her and be like, "Can you actually use that? Then give it back." That's what should have happened.
So I think he's golden there. This is what I really want to talk about, Flobo. And this is kind of a theme this week because I'm going to bring up a similar theme from Raw that happened. what in the hell is going on with MJF?
What do you mean?
What in the hell? I mean, I'm watching MJF. So he's got the contract to get a shot at the championship,
And how?
right? But he doesn't want to use it, but he wants a shot at the championship. But now, randomly, for some reason, the Hurt Syndicate absolutely hates MJF, who, by the way, now they're helping Cope for some reason. Well, I mean, he business deal. Okay, whatever. I'll accept it. But it's very kind of okay. That's different. MJF now on the outs. Now, still for some reason tied to Mark Briscoe, who he's using the same shtick that he was using before they had their match, except now he's being like alluding to Jay Briscoe instead of just saying Jay Briscoe. But we've already heard him say Jay Briscoe, so alluding feels a little weird at this point. And he's not even talking about what's going on with the Hurt Syndicate or Hangman as he's going back and forth with Mark Briscoe. What's going on? It feels like we saw 3 segments for 3 totally different characters that had no idea the other one exists. It's like the first episode of Moon Knight.
Okay, I was with you until you compared MJF to Moon Knight. So, okay, so before I even get into what's happening, let me ask you this. Of the 3 iterations, which one was more compelling? Was the Briscoe stuff? Was it Hurt Business stuff? Was it him just being the regular MJF scoundrel stuff?
Compelling is the issues with the Hurt Syndicate, but that whole thing felt completely out of left field. There was no teasing to it. There was no like, oh, there's a rift here. It was like, hey, we're all buddies, and suddenly Bobby Lashley slamming MJF against the locker room saying, I want you out, and everyone being like, get out of here. Like,
oh yeah. So I'm with you 100%. That to me should be the focus of MJF and what he's doing right now, because the Hurt Syndicate stuff was the fresh and new at the time. I go back to the whole Eliminator Bonanza thing, and I go, what better way to eat some minutes and to really get people to boo MJF than to put down somebody? And he's not going to put down Lashley, so he went over Briscoe. So, yeah, I do think this is a product of MJF having too many things on his plate. But if I'm like you, I want to go back to the Syndicate stuff.
And that's something that, and I talked about this last week with the Bucks. I feel like they're trying to get from point A to point B too quickly. Like with the Bucks, they lost their EVP status, and the first day they're like, okay, whatever you need, Don Callis, we'll team with you. We need help. Like, no, let them suffer for a little. Let them slowly lose stuff. And let's do deadbeat Corbin for a little bit and like just drag him through the mud before they go, man, okay, I need to do something to turn my life around. Same thing with MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. We should have seen cracks, especially now that he has the contract. That's when the ego of MJF comes in. That's when he starts to you slowly start to see those cracks before that big moment. Where today I was just kind of like, whoa, what crawled up Lashley's butt?
I dare you to ask him that to his face. But not to bury AEW, because I do think that you call me a hater a lot of what AEW is doing. Hey. Yeah. Hey, you big meanie. But this is something that really affects the storytelling on that show. When things end, they end. It's the end. You don't really get, except for like Adam Page's first title win, that long, satisfying release with that kind of storytelling. And so some would argue that's kind of more postmodern, of having like a thing go, bam, here's a big change. Tune in next week to see if there's any more fallout, no?
No, I mean, you want to build to it a little bit. I mean, you think of the classic one of recent times is the Sami Zayn leaving the Bloodline, and like
that's a different company.
Tension and the build and
different company.
Whatever, it still works. It doesn't mean you can't.
No, I'm saying give me an example that had something like that same kind of natural, longer build and decompressed release. It's just not the storytelling that AEW does.
Well, it also was with Tony Storm and Mariah May. I think they did that pretty
fair
well.
Enough.
Well played, but you're not wrong. I mean, that's something they need to work on. Is let's have that slow build and have these moments so that when it happens, it feels like something happened instead of just a whoa, okay. Like it's also very weird that just from a character standpoint, why would the Hurt Syndicate suddenly want to throw the guy out who just got a shot at the world championship? If anything, This is when they should be like, okay, we need to keep Max close because he's got the championship shot, and we got to be a part of that.
I think the reach is there. It's like, look, we're not going to beat anyone in long-term storytelling. Let's get everyone back with the unpredictability factor. If you want to peel back the curtain, and I think that's what's happening. Is that sometimes you get train wrecks like this. Sometimes you hit out the park with Mariah May and Toni Storm. But you're going to see a lot more of the former than you will the latter over the next couple of months. Now, people come back to AEW like in 22 and 21. Then you have a lot more leeway to have some length with things. But right now, I get it. It's all man on board. No. All hands on deck. There you go. I'm mixing metaphors too today.
We're all messed up.
All men on board.
I call you a hater, but what I've learned about you, Flobo, is that when you say you hate something, you don't hate it quite as much as you seem to pretend. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for now, I want to talk about I do want to get into some stuff that happened. It's a little bit old news now, but I thought SmackDown this week was a stellar show. I thought it was.
Speaking of haters, you hate SmackDown.
I usually do. I don't hate TNA. Hate TNA. I hate TNA on NXT. That's the difference.
What?
I love TNA. I hate TNA on NXT.
I'll get me started because TNA and NXT are the best things in wrestling right now. But continue.
So a couple things, and I don't know. Should I start with the big thing, my favorite thing, or should I build to that?
Because you're a hater. So tell me the favorite thing of SmackDown.
Listen, I'm telling you,
you're a big SmackDown hater.
We talk about cinema in pro wrestling all the time. We talk about this, that, you talk about those big moments that make pro wrestling. I say, with no hyperbole, that the greatest moment in the last 40 years of pro wrestling across all brands.
That includes rock and wrestling? Okay.
Solo Sikoa getting arrested.
What?
That was the most entertaining thing in pro wrestling.
40 years.
The way he was trying to talk his way out of it as he was getting put in the car. Flobo.
Yeah.
This was fantastic. I loved this. Did you not have a grin from ear to ear watching Solo Sikoa?
I am utterly in
trying
shock.
To frame Jacob Fatu carted off to the back as he's like asking Cody Rhodes to help him out. Like,
I thought it was hilarious.
It was fantastic.
But best thing in 40 years of wrestling, the
best thing in 40.
You had a whole Undertaker streak. You had the King of the Ring tournament. You had Crown Jewel, which is equivalent to WrestleMania. And you're telling me this was the biggest moment?
Man, some people will say the My Way highlight video package is one of the greatest things. No, not that.
It was hilarious.
Some people say Hogan Rock at WrestleMania. No, not even close.
Not even close.
Goldberg streak, nowhere near it. 82 weeks of Nitro. No.
What's a Nitro? Yeah.
Lucha Underground. Get out of here. Whatever you're thinking. Hogan body slamming Andre. Never. Nothing.
You've lost
nothing.
Your mind.
The entire career of Bruno Sammartino was just nothing compared to Solo Sikoa being arrested after failing to frame Jacob Fatu. This is the greatest thing in pro wrestling. I was dying. It was fantastic.
I usually joke about getting canceled, but I think I may cancel us. What the hell Look, it was funny because frankly, I was like, yeah, man, him going, get him, and then being like, whoa, fantastic. But you just said, Bruno who? Stone Cold what? Lewis Yoko and the Lex Express? Forget about it.
Yeah, forget about him. You know what I mean? Like, Iron Man match, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels.
Curtain jerkers.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Shawn Michaels, Scott Hall ladder match. Couldn't care less after this.
Can I
WrestleMania 22, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker.
Can I ask a question? So
Solo Sikoa.
I'm going to ask. Can I ask a question about Solo Sikoa then?
Yeah.
So a year ago, or a year and a half ago, the universe thought he was kind of a watered down fake tribal chief. They're about to write him off, but he seemed to find a spot on a very dry SmackDown as being a comic relief. I'm in. What about you?
I'm very in. I've
Let
said
him get
before.
arrested.
I've said before, I think that the issue with Solo and the reason he took a step back in the fans' eyes is less about the work he's doing and more about how he was originally presented and what he changed into. If he was doing this kind of stuff with the bloodline, if he was the annoying little brother who wanted to run the place, if he was, for people who ever watched the show Succession, if he was like Rome in that movie, in that show the whole time, this would have been some of the greatest character work of all time before the arrest. I mean, now it is because the arrest, but now clearly it is. I mean, the black and gold era of NXT, nowhere close.
Mick Foley off the Hell in the Cell. Forget about it. Yeah.
The hell in the where? No. Solo Sikoa getting arrested is the greatest moment in pro wrestling history. Everyone in the chat. Everyone in the chat and everyone in the comments, I want you to leave a comment with a big moment in wrestling history that is now far behind Solo Sikoa getting arrested. Like Ricky Sinclair, Bart Gunn getting killed by Butterbean.
Oh, yeah. That was
Far
fun.
in the distance.
It was a brawl, but one guy got the brawl. It was Bart, poor guy.
I loved it. That was my favorite moment of the week. I can't get enough of it, Flobo.
SmackDown's great. It hasn't been for a while. It's been pretty stagnant, but the fact that Solo's able to do this and still be in character, getting himself like messed up, was pretty fun.
Jacob Fatu, by the way, also great. Not backing down from cops from the get-go. He was just like, nah.
Can I say something real quick? Because SummerSlam is coming up, and it's my favorite pay-per-view or PLE of the year. I look forward to it. It's my Christmas. I feel, because we were talking about this with Money in the Bank, that WWE kind of like slaps these things together. The shows are okay, but going into it, you feel not hyped. I am instantly hyped of what's happening at SummerSlam. Like, it came out of absolutely nowhere, man. Like, I don't know about you, 2 days in New Jersey, but we have a lot of people in there, a lot of talent in there. Good times.
Yeah, other than the New Jersey part, WWE's, they found themselves in the same spot AEW has been caught in many, many times, which is you built up to a show and 2 weeks later you have another show you got to build up for. So now suddenly they're trying to put it all together real quick. Good to see Flappuccino in the house. Thanks for coming back, Flap. And of course, Dylan Matthews in the chat with the say better than Mae Young giving birth to a hand.
That's close.
Far beyond that.
Whoa, right. that was up there, man. That was like
there.
Yeah,
it's very close. But no
Solo
Sikoa getting arrested. That's my moment. Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair. We are not friends. That sounds like that's a shirt you and I should wear. But what is this group working for you? What are your thoughts on this?
We're not friends. I guess it's a cool tag team. Well, I like them together. They deserve it to be together. It makes sure that Alexa isn't too creepy and Charlotte isn't too attached and aloof, especially with a lot of the newer talents in the women's roster doing the I'm one of one thing, whether they are queens or presented as the bougie bullies or presented as someone who's really tough. So it works for everyone. But I'm not sure if they're going to gel for a long time because the women's tag team division is the weakest division in North American professional wrestling right now.
That's a strong take.
Find me when that's weaker. Besides ROH. I don't count ROH.
I wanted to say Alexa Bliss is someone who I think her value and how we perceived her value with today's wrestling has had some fluctuation. Obviously, she was a huge star. She was gone for a long time. And I think, at least for me, there's a part of me that's like, is there still a place for Alexa Bliss?
I need you to not beat around the bush and get at it. You think she's not good enough?
I felt like there was a lot of evolution, not to play on a word there, but there's a lot of evolution in women's wrestling. And I think there's a lot of great characters. And I felt maybe she'd been gone too long and possibly the opportunity passed her by.
Oh, so her act is old.
Well, I thought that might.
I'm messing with you. I'm totally pushing.
I thought that might be the case.
I get it.
And in fact, even when she came back with like the Fiend stuff, and it was kind of like, okay, like that's gone, that's over. What are you gonna do? Charlotte Flair had fans feel a certain way about her for a long time,
which I never got because she did nothing wrong.
I agree. I think she's the GOAT. for women's wrestling. And I think she's getting
Is she,
up there
though?
for. I think so, 100%.
I mean, everyone's saying Natalia these days. I mean, she has a good case to be one of the greatest. Trish Stratus, Wendy Richter.
She's the boat, not the
Oh,
goat.
the goat and boat's different. You're right.
Yeah. One climbs mountain in Boz, the other one goes across the oceans.
Okay. Yeah, literally, yes. I go to boat.
Yeah. How else would you mean boat and goat?
I rescind my question.
No, but the point is, people feel a certain way about Charlotte Flair, and I think that was cemented. Whether people love her or hate her, I think their feelings about her were cemented. Alexa Bliss, I believe, deserves all the credit in the world for helping to change the perspective of Charlotte Flair, who is one of the most established female wrestlers. Forget female, one of the most established members of the roster on WWE. And I think she has found a way to turn the perception and make people like the Queen Charlotte Flair. We got to give her flowers for that. Do we not?
I suppose. I think Alexa is one of those characters or talents that just by tenure alone puts her in the conversation as being someone that should get her flowers, respect. Maybe not like the Miz, but quite unlike that, because it's kind of standard in moveset, kind of standard in look, but then over time has said, hey, look, we respect it. But here's a question for you. I don't want to compare Charlotte to Ric Flair because you really can't, because it's two different time periods and two different careers. But when we talk about the GOAT and the boat and the best that ever do it, especially when it comes to women's wrestling, especially post-women's evolution, what do we count? Is it strictly matches? Is it title reigns? Is it character work? Is it still kind of in its infancy, this like way of ranking things? Because to your point, Alexa was one of the greatest ones because she's been there for so long. Mm-hmm. Charlotte is based on her match roster and her moveset. Like, how do we figure this out?
I think it's a combination, just like the men's roster. It's a combination, in my opinion, of accolades, of match skill, wrestling skill, whatever you want to say, promos, stories, length of time in the business and length of time at the top, and how important you are to the division. And Charlotte Flair is all of those things in spades. She's very important to the division. She's moved the division forward. She has great matches. She's great on a microphone. She has incredible entrance gear, which counts for me.
I bet it does.
It does.
You're so vain. You're so vain.
It does. Look, entrance gear matters. Entrance
gear.
No,
it does.
It absolutely matters. Goldberg, listen, if Goldberg had like a frilly jacket, we higher up on the list. I'm sorry.
I won't take him nearly as seriously. A guy with a frilly jacket. Who's next? Yeah, shut up, Bill. I can take you.
He's gonna come back for another match now with like little sparklers like on the sides of his jacket and stuff. Like
I like the Gilbert. Yeah.
I need Jack to think I'm one of the best. You are one of the best. Top 20, Goldberg. You're top 20.
Top 20? That's generous.
Yeah, why wouldn't he be?
That is just because most of his matches weren't even televised. 175-0. Like, are you kidding me?
He won a championship in 3 different decades, the world championship in 3 different decades, 4 different decades.
Does that automatically give you a pass?
He's the only one that's ever done it.
Does that automatically give you a pass?
Into the top 20, yeah.
Didn't Flair do that? No?
I don't know if he did the world championship in 4. He did 70s, 80s, 90s. Did he get one in the 2000s? I don't know if he got one past 2000.
I'm going to check the world heavyweight championship. But anyway.
The point is, 4 separate decades, he's got a world championship. Come on. Aleister Black wore a suit, attacked Damian Priest, attacked Carmelo Hayes. I'm upset about him attacking Carmelo Hayes because he's my guy. What do you make of this change of direction for Aleister Black?
Short answer, I like it. Long answer, I like it, but I hate the fact it's at the expense of Carmelo Hayes. Some guys got to win, some guys got to lose, some guys the dog, and other guys are the hydrant. But I am getting incredibly concerned about someone like Carmelo Hayes being brought up on the roster just to be the guy who's always a hydrant. Now, props to Aleister Black. He figured out, hey, look, Cody wears a suit. He's on TV every week. I'm going to do it too, but leave my boy alone.
We got a lot to get through, so we're going to move forward. But Dylan Matthews does ask, Flobo, for you to compare Charlotte and Solo Sikoa.
How? They're both street champs in my eyes. How about that?
We had a big show this weekend,
Well,
Slammiversary, the biggest show in TNA history. And even though my Massive Heat podcast colleague Matt Morgan says that they must have sold more tickets than that in previous events, the facts say otherwise. Slammiversary, or at least I don't say the facts, but the people who keep track of these things say otherwise. Trick Williams, JC Jane, both walk out as TNA champions. AJ Styles returns, endorses Leon Slater, who's the youngest X Division champ ever. The thing that blew my mind about that is he's younger than the young OG. That's crazy. I didn't think anyone on Earth was younger than the young OG. Talk to me about Slammiversary.
One of the biggest Slammiversaries of all time, quite literally and figuratively, right? Because on one hand, you have over 7,200 people in the UBS Arena in Long Island, Strong Island, which put it literally as the biggest Slammiversary of all time. But like I was saying a bit before in the show, the NXT TNA thing is some of the most compelling things in wrestling right now because it truly feels like a forbidden door. And everyone who are TNA loyalists will say, phooey, it looks like NXT always gets the upper hand, but people bought tickets to Slammiversary, which to me, like SummerSlam, I put over their biggest event of the year in Bound for Glory. And on the NXT side, you've given Trick Williams something to do. You've elevated new talents. Like this to me really felt like it was worth your money. I don't buy many pay-per-views. I'll leave it at that. But I did this one because I really wanted to see if TNA, the thing you cannot kill, seemingly to be on the ropes for the past 15 years, how they were going to leverage their exposure on NXT, and they did it with flying colors. It was fantastic.
Who are some of your favorite non-NXT wrestlers over there right now that people should check out?
The only problem is with TNA, man. I just love the vibe of it all. Like, I can't even say Steve Macklin because, he used to be a Forgotten Son, and that's kind of weird. but that's
Forgotten
cool.
No More.
Yeah, Forgotten No More. Yikes.
That's right. Stay forgotten.
Oh my
Stay
God.
forgotten.
But I love that division, man. The division's pretty solid. And even though I'm kind of biased, I did have a little chat with Casey Navarro about 6 weeks ago on the Wrestling Chatter. But the TNA thing, much like Evolve, is kind of like the vibe of the show. Like it really feels like you're watching like C shows, no offense to TNA, of yesteryear, the Shotgun Saturday Nights. Kind of gritty, kind of fun, kind of characters you may not like as much, but you're into. And we'll talk about Master Slamovich in a bit, but I think she had a good run the past year being the face of that division as well.
Yeah, a lot of good things coming out of TNA, and hopefully they continue to grow. They've been on an upswing, and I mean, more wrestling is always good for wrestling. I'm a big TNA fan, so I'm happy to see them do well. Yeah, I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
As cool as AJ Styles showed up, I think that that just means a lot for TNA, obviously, but also I think it's cool of WWE to allow him to do that because he is such a big star. It'd be very easy for them to say, no, he's our guy. He's an exclusive to us. We'll send, Bobby Roode back. No offense, right. Bobby. I love you. Glorious.
No,
beer
money.
I loved beer money back in the day. Let me tell you something. So it's cool that AJ Styles got to go back and be a part of that. And I think it's great that Leon Slater, who has the most impressive move in all of wrestling, well, I guess maybe the Soul Snatcher actually might be up there too.
Okay,
that Swanton Bomb 450 thing he does where he like stops in the air for a second somehow and then does the 450. It's the most incredible thing. And every time I see him do it, I'm like, how does he the physics don't work? How do you do that?
I remember the first time we saw Javon Evans do the delayed cutter off the ropes. It was like, how is he stopping time? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I want to be careful about time, and we got to move on. And Raw had a lot of interesting things. And something that came up that I really wanted your thoughts on. I know you're not a huge Karrion Kross guy. I know you're not a huge Sami Zayn guy, particularly because of the music you say. At least that's what you tell us, Flobo boys.
That's a big part of it.
That's what you tell us. You see, I learned something about you, Flobo.
Whoa, don't do that. That's awful.
I learned you're a liar.
What? I am, but how'd you figure it out?
I learned you're a liar. Well, I caught you. I caught you in the act after years of hearing you slander ska, hearing you slander Sami Zayn.
I can do it again if you want.
Our intrepid reporter, first, there's a sting operation, and our intrepid reporter, Dylan Matthews, caught this. I'd like to hear you comment.
To be white. All right, come on. You okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or it's very fun.
Okay.
So first up, okay. You're at a ska concert wearing a fedora.
I would never.
Holding in your arms Sami Zayn.
First of all, Shades of Blue caught in 4K. That was 380p. Okay. and second of all, I wouldn't be caught dead. That is just slander.
You were caught alive.
That was AI, man. That was AI. Whoa, that was AI.
Did you see me? I was right there, Flobo.
Yeah, your guns were out at night. Why?
I was right there.
I'm not on trial here. All right.
Listen, JLJ Media.
He's not helping me either.
Yeah, Dylan is disgusted. Says, "Wow, I
guess first time you've seen that footage." Son of a
strong accusations. Fortunately, we do have the video evidence here. Shades of Blue Network. Crunk Chocolate wants to know, Flobo, explain yourself.
I refuse because that was definitely a Chat GPT prompt, man. I was not involved in anything to do with ska or Sami Zayn.
You know, and Danny C, heartbroken when Flobo didn't sing ska. Yet here you are, masquerading around town in the middle of the night with someone who you constantly claim to hate. In a warm embrace.
I'm not the one on trial here, man. Listen, I have you know that ska is the worst music genre on the planet. Hey, I do not have any explain to nobody. Okay, let's move on. All right, here's the subject.
Explain yourself.
I don't want to.
Listen, I think if you were the CEO of a company, you would have to release a statement right now, Flobo.
Yeah.
I want your.
Okay.
Dylan says, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Here's my statement.
Think that's a lot.
There were some wild allegations released about me about a couple minutes ago on Draped in Gold, and I just want to say from the deepest corners of my heart that Jack Farmer is a poopy head.
Just like a man. JLJ Media.
Oh my goodness.
just disgusting. I mean, look at, the thing is,
to be white. All right, come on. You okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or it's very fun.
Why are you doing the blue steel?
I think the most crazy thing about this is Chris Martin was at the ska concert with you guys,
right?
And called you out. Sammy, by the way, just looked like he was in bliss. I feel sorry. I hope Sammy doesn't see you say all these things about him.
People say I look like a lot of people. Starling Marte, Demetrius Johnson. You know what I mean? It's fine. It's probably somebody one of those.
Flobo, the home wrecker. What about? Yeah, Flobo. What about Sammy's wife?
She knows how to go to a ska concert.
I can't believe, and you hid your fedora.
The day I wear a fedora, I expect you to smack it off the top of my head, bro.
You're lucky we're not showing the video of you skanking.
I don't even know what that is.
It's how you dance to ska. You skank.
Yeah, the fact I don't know what that is would probably be a sign.
Sure. You didn't like Sami Zayn a few minutes ago, too.
I still don't.
Caught red-handed, Flobo. Caught on the Jumbotron.
Lord. Move on. I can't do this.
Dylan said that wasn't blue steel, Flobo. It's Jack being uncomfortable, being forced into a lie. You did not get my permission, Flobo, to be a part of
Jack
this.
Loves being in lies. It's his hobby. That's what he does in his free time.
I thought I was there. I was there to go see a ska show. One of the most.
What a waste of money.
One of the greatest forms of cultural expression we have. And
or the whitest, yeah.
There I was next to you and your deceit, your den of deceit.
I hate you. I Hate you all. Not the fans. Thank you so much. Leave 5 stars in comments and we read them all. But I hate you, Jack.
Yeah, well, Dylan says he might find some more footage. So
I bet he would. I bet he would find new footage.
I bet he
every
would
week.
too, because I bet you go skanking every weekend.
That just sounds so dirty. I'm fine.
I bet you're unfollowing the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones as we speak to make
this
sure
whole time I was trying to figure out if Ric Flair won the World Heavyweight Championship. That's what I've been trying to do for the past 15 minutes.
Yeah. Danny C, hats off to you, Dylan, exposing the truth. There's still real journalists out there, Flobo. And unfortunately, you got caught by one.
I hate you.
Io Sky.
All right, Io Sky.
You know, the thing about Io Sky right now in this transition is if I said who here loves ska music and Sami Zayn, you should do the Io Sky taunt and do this.
I don't. Anyway, what about Io Sky, Jack?
Should have ended the show with this. Is Io Sky the greatest wrestler in the world going right now? I mean, I look at her matches with Vaquer, Ripley. Right now, I like in this moment right now, which could end up being a long time, a short time, but right now, today, is Io Sky the greatest wrestler on the planet?
In the ring, yeah. I do think there's some levels to her superstardom that she has yet to hit. You know what I mean? But I do, like, far as like the souvenir cups and the merchandise and the oh my god, it's Io Sky. But the actual bell to bell stuff, she has been on top for a long, long time.
Yeah,
I kind of miss her crazy though. I remember I don't need friends. I miss that era.
Oh, that was my favorite era, by the way. But yeah, I mean, she's always been fantastic, and she's always been someone I think you would talk about as being like one of the best. But like, she's on a tear right now. It feels like every match she has is, you know, and sometimes wrestlers get in their bag with that, right? Like where AJ Styles was that guy for a while, Bryan Danielson was that guy for a while, Kurt Angle and TNA was that guy for a while, where it felt like he was a lot. There are people who just sometimes just go on a run, and right now Io Sky I think is the greatest wrestler in the world right now in the ring. In the chat or in the comments, let us know what you think about Flobo's infidelity with Sami Zayn, but also let us know what you think about Io Sky.
They let you know like 10 minutes ago. Can we not go back to that?
No, we'll keep going back. I have another thing I want to talk about, Flobo.
Uh-oh, I'm scared.
This is what in the hell is going on with Becky, Bayley, and Lyra Valkyria? I mean, this is the... So Lyra and Bayley are a team, and then Becky attacks Bayley, so Bayley can't be a team. So Becky becomes a tag team partner. They win the championships. They lose the championships. Becky attacks Lyra. Lyra then has an issue with Becky, but then Bayley wants to get involved. But then Bayley wants to stop Lyra, but then Bayley wants to be a tag team with Lyra. Because Becky wants to weaken Lyra, but then Becky stops Lyra from winning that match. Also, none of this makes sense at all.
Says who?
Anyone with a brain. I don't none of their motivations make any sense to me. It's like, why? First off, Bayley should be incensed at Becky and not worried about Lyra Valkyria, because Becky cost her a WrestleMania opportunity.
Right.
And now, if Lyra had won that match, then Lyra would have had to have 2 matches at SummerSlam, making Becky's job easier. But she stops her from winning, which doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. It's all nonsense, Flobo.
I'm actually with you. I feel like when I was a kid, I used to go down to my local Burger King back before I boycotted them. And I thought the coolest thing on the planet was taking the soda cup and putting every single soda in the cup. And it's cool when you're like 6. And then one day you turn 7 3/4 and don't hit the same. I think it's exactly what's happening here. I like Bayley. No, I love Bayley. She is my favorite female wrestler on the roster, 1-to-1 to Sheamus. And then you have Becky, who is a lot of people's favorite. Not mine, but okay. And Ava Valkyrie, Lyra Valkyria. We loved her NXT UK. I don't want to see these people together anymore. I've done the "you broke my heart, we're friends" thing. At the end of the day, having Becky at WrestleMania was a mistake, and everyone decided to say, "Hey, look, let's keep her around." Oh, she won the title. Oh, snap! They need to be as far away from each other from now on.
I don't even mind the people. I think it's good for Lyra Valkyria to be in the ring with these two because they
No.
are the greats.
Nope.
But it just none of the motivations make any sense at all to me. Like they change motivations constantly.
I disagree with you. I think Lyra Valkyria's problem, and by problem I mean like as far as fans connecting with her on the main roster, is that it looks like it's too much too soon. As soon as she's been on the main roster, she had that fight against Becky at NXT. She went to the main roster, and now she's going against two of the four horsewomen at once. That is way too much pressure for a new character to bear, and it seems, as the kids say, forced.
It is too much too soon. I agree with you on that. It is forced. I agree with you on that. That's not Lyra's fault, though. I think.
How's that not?
And because if this was an AEW thing, we would be talking about how they're doing things too quickly, how they need to slow things down, make stuff make sense. This whole thing, since Becky got back involved, just feels like it's every week them trying to throw something like, let's do something different and crazy. Like, and it just, none of it, if you're thinking like a logical person, none of the things these people are doing make sense with what they should be wanting to do. None of it, like, if Becky, who is I'm going to take the cheap way out, I'm going to be a bad guy, I'm going to do whatever I can, she should have helped Lyra and Bayley win the tag team championships so that Lyra would have had 2 matches at SummerSlam. That's the cheap thing to do. Right. And if you're Bayley, why are you hate Lyra one week, you want to be her tag team partner the next week? Like, none of that makes sense either. Right. And so, like, none of it makes sense. And so Lyra, like Becky Lynch and Bayley, they're fantastic on the microphone. They don't make sense, in my opinion. So how are you going to get Lyra to connect in this situation?
You're just not going to. It's reverse engineered. We have a brand new division. Hey, we love Bayley. People love Becky. And we have a new character. Let's put them all together in the blender. Much like my soda analogy. You're not paying attention, Jack. Point is that when you know it's gross, you stop doing it. And it's just stop doing it ASAP. I'm hoping after SummerSlam it becomes over and they go their separate ways, because I'm with you. It makes no sense.
Buy, sell, or hold on Rusev?
I would. There's no draft. If there was a draft, I would say hold. I do think that if he went over to SmackDown right now, he would probably excel. But there's no draft. I don't know when that is. So I would definitely sell. So this is what's called like a dead cat bounce. Rusev will have those matches. He can do a lot. But I forgot his entrance on Monday night. Yeah. He came out, I was like, who the hell is that? Oh yeah, it's Rusev. And he does not hit the way he did. I'm not sure how to explain this, but when he was in AEW and had like the horn, I actually worked for me. Or even classic Rusev, when he was doing the Rusev Day, kind of dated, but it worked for me. This guy is supposed to be what? The guy at the gym that hates how you rack the weights? Like, I don't get it. I don't get who he's supposed to be at all.
Yeah, I think I thought he was great when they were using him in AEW regularly with the horn and when he was like the TNT champion and stuff. I thought that was fantastic. I think one of the problems he runs into in WWE is he's supposed to be a big powerhouse, but WWE is filled to the brim with big powerhouses. And
it's supposed to be a rough powerhouse, though.
I think that's again, hindsight 2020. I think him having matched with Sheamus is not the right idea, because when you have I would say it's kind of like when they would always have Kane versus the Big Show. Well, it's like, now both of them just like slow, normal guys because they're both big.
Right.
Like, I think looking back, they should have had Rusev fighting smaller people that he could throw around and beat up, and maybe like the LWO or something where he can show that he's a big, rough powerhouse. But when you're in there with Sheamus and he hits you back just as hard, it's like, oh, he's just a regular person who took a loss already, which makes it feel a little bit like, okay, well.
I slightly agree. I know those surveys strongly agree, slightly disagree. I think if he had a bit of purpose, now I'm not saying to be the redeemer again, but at least in AEW, you knew that his goal was to go after people he had to redeem in the name of the Lord or what have you. If he had something like that, then it doesn't necessarily matter the size of anyone. But you're right. What I'm not going to buy is this Rusev saying, you and me are going to have a hard hitting match when the guy you're facing is literally a guy who calls himself banger after banger. Like that to me is kind of like you're going up against the original guy for his territory. I'm not going to buy into you.
Dylan Matthews with a great suggestion. There needs to be an engagement backstage so Rusev can be a best man.
You can make yourself the best man today. Just say you're the best man.
By the way, that theme song still slaps for a workout.
That is very generous.
I'm the best man. Trust me. Like when
what,
you're working out,
are you
like,
jazzercising? What kind of exercise are you doing to that song?
Dude, it's great. It's great.
To what?
You get your calf warmers up turned on and your shin warmers, whatever they call them. And,
best man.
So NXT, I do want to cover NXT because a lot of stuff happened there.
Best brand ever.
And I know we've got to go. I disagree. It's my least favorite brand right now.
Least favorite? Least favorite.
Least favorite. Or I should say the shows. Yeah, it's my least favorite of the show. By far.
It's the tightest 2 hours on television. Everything makes sense to everything
it's
else.
The loosiest, goosiest, like
we're
doing Evolve, LF. Look, you've got an NXT wrestler wearing the TNA championship, calling out an LFG guy. Like this is
Undertaker's not an LFG guy. Stop.
He
some dude from LFG. Like it's the Undertaker.
Look. There's so much stuff that just feels like it is unimportant to the show.
I disagree,
and by the way,
bro.
you too buried AEW when they do stuff like this.
Do what?
Having shows that aren't the show, having wrestlers that aren't the wrestler featured, having championships that aren't your championship featured.
We bury AEW with ROH because AEW purchased ROH and doesn't know what to do with it. That's different. I think the NXT TNA relationship has been a lot of fun. And in fact, the questions I was raising about where does the NXT championship will go in its pecking order was answered with a stare down with JC Jane as well backstage. And the Undertaker thing is how you unite different generations into NXT while it's rising tides for TNA. I mean, the writing there is layered, brother.
No, it's not. This is garbage.
Garbage?
This is garbage. It's garbage. Look, and again, because it's the same situation when Kenny Omega was TNA champion, it was all like, I don't know how this is helping them. Yet NXT, by the way, just had their guy win the championship and then get left for dead by a guy who's been retired for years.
Hold on. So to your point, yes, when Trick Williams won the TNA championship, there were some voices of dissent. What's the point of TNA? It's being buried. When Joe Hendry got RKO'd at WrestleMania. But what I'm saying is two things. One, behind the curtain, the biggest Slammiversary of all time, more people watching TNA than ever before.
That doesn't make NXT interesting to me.
But ahead of the curtain, what makes this interesting is that you do have that open door open. Trick Williams is a run that hasn't been seen before. And what does that mean for that brand?
A run that hasn't been compared to what? Like, what do you mean by that? Because Kenny Omega was doing the exact same thing.
So you're comparing Kenny Omega to Trick Williams? No, I'm not comparing the two of those men. I'm comparing
the run. The run is the exact same thing.
I'm comparing his run as a performer, not necessarily his run as TNA.
You're saying a run that we have never seen before.
For Trick Williams' ability and his superstar level, yes, we have never seen him at this level before. Yes, the match against Carmelo Hayes 2 years ago was fun, but now he can carry the aura, as you say, on different shows, and we saw him do that. The fact you're calling NXT garbage tells me you're skimming it, man.
I watched it completely, and Trick's always been a star. I don't think he's any more or less than he was before. So I think he was more of a star before he got chokeslammed by The Undertaker for to do what? Like, is he going to have a match with The Undertaker? Or is he just going to take the loss to The Undertaker and just be like, oh, I guess I got chokeslammed by The Undertaker.
10 minutes ago, we were talking about Io Sky. You asked me if she's the biggest person on the planet. I said bell to bell.
I did not say she was the biggest person on the planet.
I'm saying
is she the best wrestler on the planet?
Correct. And I said inside the rope she has, but there's still some levels of superstardom with her. And that's what I meant by that. I said in the ring, she's been tops for years. Correct? Did I not say that? Did I not say that?
She said she's
Right,
one of
and
the best.
but you
Yeah,
felt that there was level for stardom. So that's what I'm saying about Trick Williams. I'm not comparing him to Kenny Omega. I'm not comparing him to being the holder of the TNA Championship. I'm saying this exercise, this combining of worlds, this forbidden door, this new mixture of different talents, this opportunity for him has put him the performer, not the champion, the performer in a level we haven't seen before.
I disagree.
And you're saying, "Oh well, Taker is trash."
I think he's always been this good. I don't see him being a bigger star than he was before.
So what are you saying, Jack? Are you saying that
I'm saying NXT the show,
correct,
is an uninteresting show.
Uninteresting.
Because it spends the entire time selling me on TNA, selling me on Evolve, selling me on LFG, but it's not selling me on the wrestlers that are there.
To be fair, LFG is a handful
of people, but listen. Wesley,
who
completely fell up. Exactly. Thea Hale, where has she even been? You know, you've got Lexis King, barely involved. You have a guy like Miles Bourne, who was just in the World Championship situation, has then left TV for weeks. Why? Because we got to fill all this time for all these other companies. Everyone, Kiana James, what happened to her?
She's on Raw. Stop.
There's so many.
She's a Raw talent.
She had one match.
But she's a Raw talent. You can't ask where she's on NXT if she's not on NXT anymore.
She hasn't been on NXT in months.
But she's a Raw talent. She's not on the roster.
She hasn't been Raw talent.
She had a knee injury. You're asking about someone who's a Raw talent if they're on NXT. She has a knee injury.
Almost their entire roster has been gone.
But Keanu James is a bad example. I'm with you.
They're not even being featured. And so that show isn't interesting to me for the same reason when we get into like AEW and I see Hechicero and I'm like, I'm not interested in Hechicero. He's not an AEW guy. And I see a lot of stuff we're building to things that don't matter to NXT. As an NXT, what made NXT great was that it was a show I could watch for 2 hours and it was in a nice little bubble and I could enjoy this. Now it's the exact opposite. I got to know what's going on in TNA. I got to know who these guys from Evolve are. I got to know LFG people who are coming and going. I got to know all this stuff that's happening. And I'm not interested in that. I'm tuning into NXT. The show. This is the worst NXT has been in as long as I can remember for me personally. And I know some people can disagree, but to me, it's just brutal to watch. Ethan Page is a treasure, though.
So allow me to disagree with that because you use the Ethan Page thing first. So I understand the whole selling thing, but to be fair, the LFG, the A and E shows, they're being sold everywhere. So let's take that off the table because you can't get mad at this.
I don't care, but that's the thing.
But hold on, I'll let you finish, Jack. I'll let you finish.
But you're misstating my argument. You're misstating what I'm saying.
I'm saying put LFG aside.
It can be advertised everywhere. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about when I'm watching NXT. So regardless of where it's advertised, I'm talking about how it impacts my viewing of NXT. And so if you're going to say something that's not how I'm watching NXT, then it's not relevant.
Okay. You said it there first.
So there you go.
We're out of time.
Were you gonna tell me that it's being advertised other places or that
I was saying put that aside, but we're out of time. So we got to move on.
Well, so what was it? It was because we put that aside. What is great about NXT that has nothing to do with
you said it wasn't interesting to you. You say it's loosey goosey. You say it's not a focus on NXT. Well, that's how you feel, and you said that's how you felt, and you said it was the worst NXT it's ever been for you. So I understand.
It has been, but you think it was great. What about it is great for you that isn't selling?
We're out of time. We're out of time.
What is it? No. I mean,
we're out of time. We're at an hour.
What makes it great?
We're out of time.
Why aren't you going to say it? Just say it.
Because you basically cut off my argument. So we're out of time. You made your point. NXT isn't great for you. I want to ask you this. What's your favorite brand then? And then we can move on to something else.
But what do you like about NXT?
But Jack, you just told me. You sat here and convinced me. You're saying it's terrible. It focuses on too many things. I want 2 hours in my box. Like wrestling has not sold other products ever. And I go, okay, I accept that. You said why it doesn't work for you. I thought it was the best show of the week. You disagree.
Why
you disagree? We're at the hour, man.
Why do you think the show?
We're at the hour because it's 2 minutes gone, man.
Why are you being weird about it? Just say
I'm not being weird at all. I'm not being weird at all. I said before it was a tighter show. I like it. It makes sense to me. You said no, and you gave me chapter and verse about how you don't like everything else. And I go, okay. I accept your reasoning. You convinced me that it's not your favorite.
But that's not what I'm asking.
We're at
time,
man.
What do you like about it?
We're at the hour, bro. You made your point, Jack. It's not good. You've convinced me. I hate it now. It's awful.
That's okay. I don't know why you made it weird, but
I'm not making it weird at all.
You're making it very weird. You're not saying weird.
I'm not making it weird. You stopped the show in its tracks. So I'm telling you that I started off saying I liked it. It's the tightest thing ever. You said it was garbage, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You said it was focused on everything.
It's bad.
You said that you wanted 2 hours. You don't want to work on anything. I go, okay. I cannot convince you. That makes perfect sense. I like the logic. And Ethan Page is a treasure. I agree on that front. We're at our hour.
So, again, I don't know why you're not saying what you think though. What do you like? What do you like about? What's the stuff you're liking on the show right now?
I love everything about NXT. That's the point I was trying to make, Jack. But you disagree, and that's okay if we disagree. That's what makes wrestling fun.
But like, point it out. Like the whole point of the show.
See, now we're making it weird. I can't explain it anymore. You're making it weird. Let's just.
You never answered the question.
I guess you convinced me, brother.
Well, I don't know. This is a weird ending to the show, Flobo, on a show where you're supposed to give your opinions on how you feel about things.
I was convinced by Jack Farmer, man. It's garbage. Don't listen and watch NXT anymore, guys. Jack said it right.
Okay, weird. Where can the world see you not give your opinion, Flobo?
Yeah, you can check me out on Twitter at Flobo Boyce or on that blue sky at Flobo Boyce as well. Don't listen to Jack. He made it weird. He stopped the show in his tracks. Give it up for Jack Farmer, everybody.
All right. You can follow me at Real Jack Farmer across all social media and see all things I'm working on. You can also check me out on Massive Heat every Monday after Raw. That does it for us, and we'll see you guys next time.
To be wise. All right, come on. You okay?